when we had tip trucks for a period of 7 years. And then a freight run come for sale from Launceston to Queenstown via Devonport, Burnie and Zeehan to Queenie. And we bought that, and we had some tip trucks and some general freight. And then as the general freight built up, my dad went to the West Coast and talked to many people and offered a daily service. Well, when we started with a daily service, we ended up with about a quarter of a load of general freight. But as it went on, it built up. And so my first semi-trailer was a 28-foot semi-trailer. No air brakes, vacuum brakes, which weren't all that good anyway, going around the West Coast. But as time went on, we got better equipment. We were lucky that at that time, Renison Limited opened up their mines, so we had lots of general freight onto the West Coast, and I managed to get the contract back to Burnie, which I believe the boys are still doing that job today. Then, as it happened in 1967, the brewery in Hobart burned out, and where we were carting 4.5 tonne of beer a week prior to that, we ended up carrying 42 tonne a week of beer to the West Coast. Well, for a start, we carted a lot of buildings to the Renison mine, which the people, Daniel Bosveld and his sons, put up the buildings there, and I carted one building there one night. I called in at my brother's place in Burnie, had tea there and had a bit of a talk, and I left, I think, about 9:30, and I pulled into to Renison Bell. Mr. Bosveld, Mr. Bruyn, you're here. This is at 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah, I just got in my sleeping bag, actually, just got comfortable. And he said, we'll unload you now. I said, oh, you don't have to do that. I said, no, we can wait until the morning because I got to pick up a load. No, we unload you now. So Mr. Bosveld called his sons, and I think it was Lubert and Lottie and Albert, to unload the semi-trailer. And then I got back in the sleeping bag till 7 o'clock and unload tin back for Burnie. But the manager of that company was a chap called John McMillan. And I went to John McMillan and I said, we go to the West Coast every day. Could I cart your tin back? He said, yes, you could carry it back for us. That would be all right. We'll pay you $4.50 a tonne. And I took it on to get it back, to get the trucks loaded. I wasn't happy with the $4.50, and I knew that a company called Holymans was sending a lot of empty containers back to Sydney and various places. So I went with some Holymans management back to Renison management, and I got the contract to cart the tin back to Burnie, and I think I got something those days like $6.50 a tonne. For us, that was a really big thing. Well, I think it was rather a big deal because I had to go and talk to Robin Holymans, and I took him and a chap called Frank Horrocks, one of his managers, and we went to Renison, spent the night in Zeehan, and that night too, we talked to the management. We got the job, which there was a lot of beer drunk. I didn't drink that much, but some of those people on the West Coast, I could drink quite a bit. My brother built a conveyor belt, and the Burnie depot been using that conveyor belt for quite some time. I'm not quite sure what they're doing today. So the history of the tin carters has been many, many years. I think to achieve the Renison contract of the tin, to achieve the contract on the line, and then in the end, like moving away from the general business, the general freight. To me, that was the highlights of my life, I think.